Hello, happy Tuesday. Good morning. How's everyone doing? Thank you for joining the Masinga podcast show. I am him, Masinga Macau. It's really good to have you here. Sunday was Mother's Day. We're celebrating our mothers. I spent a little time on the phone talking with my mom. My mom, she she gets emotional a lot over some things or certain things. We were just talking and vibing. You're just celebrating my mom and the woman she is and how she's helped me. I don't know how where I'd be without my mom. Yeah, so special shout out to all the mamas out there, or the ones aspiring to be mamas. You're loved and valued. I hope you know that. Yeah, but hey, it was amazing, and I couldn't help but think because I come from a family where we talk about things openly, like in very precise and open terms. We don't have so many taboos. Things about marriage, about sex, about dating women, all of that. We talk about it. And my mom, she's given me many stories about how I was born, when our water broke. She's just given me the stories. I mean, we do it respectfully. I don't think, oh, what a weird family. No, we're not. We are actually a very traditional family. So my mom tells me, what happened when she gave birth to me, when she conceived me, just the entire thing. And I really appreciate, I love a good story. I love a detailed story. I don't like it when someone is giving a story. I love it. They're leaving the parts for you to just give me the entire story. So, and when, a woman is pregnant, those 9 months, just think about this. Those 9 months, when you were in your mother's womb, you simply trusted. You were not trying to control anything. All the parts were developed. Your nose developed, your mouth, your ears, your tongue, everything just worked perfectly without you getting involved. So if you trusted during that time and everything worked out perfectly, why can't you trust right now? Why are we so much holding on into control? We want to control the narrative, control the outcome, the success, how people see us. We are in charge. And I think that's why things are not working. I think that's why there's lack of peace, lack of joy. The peace is already there. Whatever God is applying is already there. But we are somehow getting in the way. We're too involved. Just think about that. Everything worked perfectly without you getting involved. So if you trusted then, why can't you trust now? Why can't you trust that God has got you and is going to work it out? If it's done it before, they say that it's going to do it again. The first 9 months are very vital. The brain was formed, very vital, very important. The brain was formed. The lips, everything, your lungs, your heart, your arteries, everything just worked perfectly with you just there and not even seeing what's happening. And you okay. So if you trusted then, why can't you trust right now? Yeah? We were okay for the first 9 months. As soon as we showed up here, we're like, okay, now God, I want to be in charge. Like I'm calling the shots now. And how is that working with you being in charge? I think a beautiful, meaningful, peaceful life is a one where is the one where you're no longer in charge, where you're not the one who is controlling things. You've completely let go of control. That is a beautiful life. Um, I'm going to give this example. That seeing too much and being too involved, it slows down the process, even steals away our peace. It makes us to be even more anxious. I remember the time I used to live very far from work, and then now I'm in a bus, and I'm looking at the traffic. I'm seeing how slow it's moving, and then I'll get a glimpse of seeing the other lane. It's also squeezed and packed. Then I'll get so anxious. But what happened when I used to not look at the traffic, just put on my headphones and just blast some music? I'll be less anxious, and with no time, I'll get to work with just when I'm more relaxed and chill, and I'll even perform better at work. You see that thing of when you're too involved, when you're seeing too much. I feel like we see too much, we know too much, and that doesn't always work for us. It sort of works against us. It makes us to be more anxious. And I'm in that place where I'm learning how to filter out things like social media. Most of us, you are doing okay. You okay with how your boyfriend is treating you, how he's loving you, with your father, with your parents, with your kids, until you saw that one tweet, until you saw that one video that your man doesn't love you enough if he's never taken you to a trip to Bali, if he's not sending you a bag at the end of the month, this certain amount, you're not loved. You were just perfectly okay until you saw those stories where people are giving. I've seen these stories, people telling how much money their boyfriend is sending, sending them thousands of dollars every month, and your boyfriend is there. He doesn't give you as much, but he's present. He cares for you. He provides where he can. hmm But now you want him to break his back to make you happy. Now, because of what you saw on social media, you were just okay. Now you see that seeing too much, knowing too much, sort of ruins a good thing. And I just want to be in a space where I don't see or know too much. That's why I no longer follow the news. I know it's good to be to know the current news, current matters, but I stopped watching news since 2017. I don't watch the news. I don't see the need of. I don't see the need of having a television. I don't watch a lot of movies. I just cut down a lot of what I'm consuming. Yeah. Instead, I express already what's going on here. Like I already have the vibe. The Holy Spirit and Jesus has put a good vibe and life in my heart. I express that. I think that's more beautiful than depending on what's coming on the inside of me to give me a vibe, to entertain me, to give me life. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I feel like we're just too involved. A friend of mine said that this generation is information is just too available and knowledge, but very little wisdom to show for it. Think about it. This is the most woke generation, the most woke, most knowledgeable. People know things, man. The things that these babies know at 13, 14, you'll be shocked. They know a lot of things. Yet, this generation where people are struggling with stress, with fear, anxiety, the cost of death by stress and fear and anxiety has gone up than back in the day when information wasn't available, readily available. Just think, oh man, the lights have gone while I'm recording things. I don't know how this looks like. Ooh, oh boy. Let me just see. Oh boy, you guys are going to notice. You're going to notice a switch in the picture quality because the lights have gone off. But hey, I gotta get this podcast out there, so I'll continue. Right, so this generation, we just information is too available. We know a lot of things, but it seems like it's working against us. People are woke. People know their rights. They know what they need. They know what they want. They know how to be treated. They're woke. But somehow, people are suffering from stress, depression at a higher rate compared to back then when people didn't know a lot, when information wasn't readily available. Just think about that. So I find it to be so interesting that it's working that way. So I think we should just sit back and allow God to take care of us. Just you did it once when you were a little baby, when you were being formed. Oh, the lights are back. Yes, let's do this. Okay, yeah, that's the right setting. I had to confirm. You trusted. You just trusted, and everything worked perfectly during that time when you were conceived, and everything worked perfectly. Why can't we just do the same thing right now? And every day, man, it's about releasing control, letting go. You be scrolling on social media, and there's so many triggers, and they say that people would never push buttons that don't exist. So the fact that you're being triggered by things or seeing someone doing well shows also something there. Um, Sometimes you can just get jealousy, by feel disturbed a little bit, get anxious because of what you're seeing people putting out there on social media. And what I like to do, I tell God, I was just scrolling through this and I saw this post and it made me feel anxious about my finances, about my future, and I'm releasing that thing to you. Completely releasing control. That need to be in control, just completely casting it out and allowing the Father to be in charge. I do that every day. But God, hey, I felt a little anxious. There was a boss. I didn't like the way he was treating me. I feel like it was picking on me and mean. And when I was praying, I was telling God, God, man, when I see this man, I just feel disturbed in my heart. And I don't want that to be my portion. I release it. I cast it out completely. See, you can pray to God about everything. You can say it the way it is without you beating about the bush. You can be specific. You can be you can be even petty with God. He knows everything about you. You can just go to the way you are and talk to him. So I told God, hey, Mimi, Appa, I don't like the way this. Um, man, I had to say, I had to release because there was that pressure to control. Okay, let me change. Let me try and do something to make this boss like me, to make him like me, to make him approve of me. And that is the wrong approach. So I had to completely let go that need to be in control, that need to be in charge, that need to appear a certain way. We suffer a lot from that. We want to appear a certain way. We just so good at camouflaging, but deep down, you know the truth. You know you're probably not doing that well, but you're putting that image on social media because you want control. I don't think you've truly healed or you're truly living life if you still want people to see you appear a certain way, when you still want them to see you a certain way. You still, it's still can I say that it's still shallow. You're you're still not living life. Man, there's this dude, we were in campus together. This man never cared about anything. In campus, some people think you should have a fancy lifestyle, have a nice furnished apartment or hostel, whatever you're saying. This man never cared for that. He didn't even have a sound system. He didn't even have a laptop, and he was doing IT. He had a stove, that one cooking with paraffin. And that can be shameful to a lot of people. Let's be honest. And he never cared. He was having girls over. Yeah, girls come over. He was never scared of what he had. He was never defined by what he had. But think about it. If you're defined by what you have, it means that when you don't have it, then you cease to exist. So like now you're not there. When that thing isn't there, then you also are not there. If you're defined by what you do, when you stop doing it, then you stop to exist. Think about that. That's how, man, life, we're supposed to live it by the terms of God. But he says, I'm enough, I'm blessed, I'm complete, period. That's just a thing that I'm doing. It doesn't define me, it doesn't make me. When Paul said, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, what he meant is that thing that I'm doing is just a thing I'm doing. My identity is intact, it's locked in Christ. The career, the money, the lack of it, the marriage, the having kids, not having them, it's just a thing that I'm doing. It doesn't define me. Who I am is found in Christ. If we just live life through that place, from that place, I think it'd be beautiful. There'd be less pressure to prove a point. You'll be less anxious. You'll enjoy more. You will live more. So this dude, man, in campus, he never cared. Nyumba yake inanuka stove. Hiyo unye venye mtu kupika na stove. He doesn't care. Anakula hata kama alikuwa nasiaga kutoka nyumbani unga. He never cared. Wewe kama una nini, that's you. Hiyo ni shida yako. That's just being so free. Not care, not projecting perfection. Man, hey brother, if you're watching this, I love you. You taught me a lot without you saying anything. Man, huyu jamaa kuwa anajali yako anashtuka. So we have to release control. Just allow it to go, and that need to be in charge. Just release it and allow God to be the one in charge. Yeah, manze. He knows better. He knows the end before the beginning. So I'd rather let him do it. Mimi nikifanya na haribu. Nikifanya na haribu. Right. And if if you were to catch a glimpse of how supported and loved and protected you are by God, my friend, you will live without fear, without the need to be in control to prove a point, because the majestic one, the mightiest, the most powerful one is the one watching over you. So why should you live in fear? But because we don't know. We don't know yet. We don't. That's why there's the lack of peace. That's why there's the need to be in control. That's why there's the fear, the anxieties are tormenting you because you don't know. If you know the one just right next to you right now, and how he's always rooting for you and making moves to make things work for you, protecting you, provide, my friend, you will live, you will be fear free. A lot of bad things are rooted in fear. If the enemy can ignite fear in you, man, he's got you where he wants you to be. Fear, fear of losing, fear of death, fear of sickness. Now you end up manifesting that thing that you always fear. Man, and it's about, you know, there's a you ever notice whenever I'm doing this podcast, I just have this many ideas coming, and I'm trying to stay in script, but I also want it to be raw and as much as I can, but also just sort of stay in script and say what I wanted to say. The reason I write these points is because I notice sometimes I miss out saying important things. But now here I am, I have the points I want to say, but then I'm having these ideas coming through. I'm like, oh, I gotta say those too. Um, the blind man who was healed by Jesus. He was touched the first time he couldn't see well, and then he had to be touched again to see clearly. In my understanding of the story, just let's add a little context here and there. When someone is blind, they survive on a routine. They on familiarity. They know where the fridge is at without you telling them. They know which they can know this is a Fanta, this is a Coke, this is the yogurt, this is the tea, this is the kitchen. They can sense and feel. They know the bathroom. They know where out to flush. They know they survive. They survive based on familiarity. They know that because they've been blind. They are that's the system that works for them. So this man is still probably stuck on his routine or what he knows. He probably stuck on a certain perspective, right, or what has worked for him. And he's touching, he still can't see. Probably because he was still depending on his old routine. But Christ had to touch him the second time and then, wow, now I can see. It's like the first time he was still holding on into that familiar routine. The second time, it's like he needed to cast it out. He needed to let it go. Like completely cast it out. Anything I've ever known, anything they've ever told me, anything my teacher in high school ever told me, anything they did, anything I've ever done wrong, the abuse, just completely let go of that narrative and embrace the new that Christ has given me. Because that routine and that we all on to what, like I feel like we play we play victim of what's happened. We want to live life based on that. The reason why I'm mean and cold is because my husband abused me. The reason why I'm mean and cold, or I'm stuck on drugs, is because I have a divorce. I have a marriage that is not working. So we play victim every day. Oh, the reason I'm like this, or the reason I'm sad is because of the economy. We play victim. The reason why I'm living in fear is because of the economy, or the current leadership, or the reason I'm because of what happened in my church. We give a reason. We give a reason to support a dysfunction. It's constantly playing victim. How about we how about we live through Christ, who's given us a reason to live beyond our fears, to live beyond those chains, to live them and to just live a new life where we're no longer defined by those things, where our identity comes from Him. Do you get it? Mhm. So I feel like the blind man had to cast had to release that old narrative that he was still holding on to it. He had to release that the old routine that, hey, this one, it cannot serve you anymore. Like the something powerful has come. Uh-huh. I'm telling you, the moment you embrace the grace of God and His love, it's bigger than that abortion. It's bigger than that fear, than that sickness, than that mistake, than that um, uh, shame and guilt you're holding on to. The blind man had to be touched. He had to, yo, now something bigger has come. I have to put this aside. This one doesn't support me. A new day has come. Hmm. The woman who was living in shame, who had five husbands, living in another woman, another man in the Bible, she was living in shame. It's clear because in Israel it's very hot. Traditionally, people go to fetch water in groups, especially women. So this woman, why is she going to fetch water at noon when it's really hot alone? Because of her life, she's living in shame. She doesn't want to be with people. Just having a conversation with Christ, everything changed. She went telling everyone, "Hey, come and see. This man has told me everything about me. Come and see this man." So it's like he's telling you, ile kitu ile kimemkalia, or the thing that was creating the barrier was just a wrong perspective. When you have the right perspective, when you're standing, from where you're viewing it, you have a clear understanding, man, those things, they can no longer control you. They can no longer define you. It didn't matter what she done because now the perspective had changed. So it's never really about trying to change your past or trying to change your how people view you. Just change your perspective. Change how you view life. Don't change the thing. Mm-mm. She was trying to control that. Hey, because I've been having living in sin, in this sin of sexual sin. I'm going to be in control of. I'm going to hide. I won't go with other people in the river. I'll just go to fetch water alone. Hmm. But when the truth that Jesus is the way to truth and life, when that thing sinks in you, deep in you, aye, those things, they no longer hold water anymore. They no longer control you. They no longer serve you. Yes, it's that place of understanding that the Father has already provided the grace, the peace for you to face every day, for you to live life. That your definition doesn't come from those things, from your past, from what it doesn't come from that. I love just how this woman just, it's like she, you know what they say, rise up and shine, your light has come. That's it. She rose up and shone because the light has come. Rise up and shine, the light has come. That's basically what happened. There's been a change in the perspective. Ile kitu imekukalia, kuna ka ignorance mahali, kuna mahali hujalewa kabisa, so you have to release it and shine. The light has come. Hizo vitu hazikuserve anymore, man. Hey, okay. Well, I think I'll end it here. I feel like this one is going to be short. There's been a bit of interruption here and there, distractions, people moving things around here. Yeah, we'll do better on the next podcast. Should be Thursday or Friday. Alrighty. I love you. Thank you for checking out the podcast. Please subscribe, like, share, comment. I see you for the next one.